Welcome back to Neffy Cat. We're so glad that you can join us today. I have a little box kitty here this morning who's been very, very playful. And I thought I'd share some of the play with you. Oh, very busy. While he plays, I want to talk about that topic. A lot of us, when it comes to making money, are not taught to play with that topic. A lot of us take it so seriously that we spend a lot of time being upset and stressed out. Our bodies produce way too much cortisol that keeps us very stressed out and unhappy. And with that in mind, it keeps us from making the choices that can turn money making into fun and into play. I like to use the terms creating money more than just making money. So I want to encourage you all today in this area to learn how to play, to let yourself play. Work on your mindset when it comes to money, because we're so taught that you hear things like, oh, money is the source of all evil, which is very far from true. Oh, rich people are all spoiled and they all had their finances passed down to them from on a silver spoon. And they're not taught that most everyone in the market that does become wealthy has done so in the first generation. It's very common for the second and third generations, especially by the third generation, to lose their money and to not know how to even manage it well. Yes. And if you learn to work with your mind and you learn to work with your mindset, you can turn bringing money into your life into something more like this. That's lots of fun. Yes, look at all that fun. Now, I want to also point out that just because we learn how to play and we learn how to have a more adventuresome and a more lighthearted attitude in some ways, it doesn't mean that we don't take our play seriously, so to speak. It doesn't, but by that, I do mean, you don't be careless with it. You don't go around and bet all of your money, for example, so that you won't, so that you'll run out of money to survive. You don't need to do that. But it is wise to allow yourself to explore and to explore other ways of bringing it in and of creating it in your life. Yes, this little guy is a little explorer. He explores his world. He explores through play quite often, just like this. Yes, just like this. He explores the market. Oh, the market of the kitty, I should say. Maybe he would be trading into some really cool kitty food and kitty toy companies. Yes, maybe that's where he would invest. And ignore the mommy button. I think somebody got a little bit tired. In the stock market, though, and when it really comes to money in general, into our income, that's the one place that you face yourself. If you're a person who hasn't faced yourself in life, you will there. And it makes us look at our emotions. It makes us look at our minds. It is extremely important for us to do that, because if we don't, it will control us. And that means also learning how to see where our strengths and our weaknesses are with our ways of bringing income in. You have to learn how to work with who you are. And this is something else that a lot of us aren't taught. We're taught fit into the system. You got to fit in and manage your full-time job and appreciate that you have weekends off if you do. And we're not taught to honor who you are, your strengths and your weaknesses, and to develop the way that you bring your supplies in from that. For example, some of us don't like schedules very much. I'll just talk about myself here. I can't stand things that require tons and tons of time and obligations. I have a lot of trouble with that. However, that doesn't mean that I don't do accomplishment. I accomplish quite intensely. I can work for hours accomplishing goals. I'm great at that. I'm just not great at having to be somewhere at 8 o'clock in the morning every morning, 5 days a week. That is a very big weakness in mine. And so what I had to learn in my adulthood is how to create my own path. That's a big deal for me. Yes. I do very well with independent types of work, and so do a lot of other people. Somebody's chewing his toy. Yes. But if you respect who you are and you're honest with yourself about the strengths and the weaknesses that you have, instead of trying to force yourself just to fit into what you perceive society wants from you, if you instead work with who you are, you will find a niche, and you will find really fun ways that bring play out in you, that bring adventure out in you, and that bring goodness out, and beneficial ways that do bring value to the market. For some people, they get into YouTube. And for other people, it's other things. I really encourage you to do that in your life. I encourage you today to think about that, including the honesty of self-reflection. So for those of you who are working on yourself today, spend time. I even suggest writing down what your strengths are and what your weaknesses are. Be honest with yourself. Be honest. If you like, money coming in ways that are fun and adventuresome and varied versus some other people, that's an okay thing. That's very great even. And some people, they like to have something that's secure, that for sure has a steady paycheck, so to speak. Well, honor that too, if you feel the need for that. For those of you in the stock market, it's even more important for you to know your strengths and weaknesses, because the market preys on weaknesses. There are people within the market, and I'm not trying to make this sound polarized, but there's people who prey on that, who will design ads or articles on purpose to get people upset so that they'll sell their stock, so that that person, or that organization can short it, or so that organization can have the price fall so that they can buy in at a low price. Yeah, and it's really important. Life is like that. For kitties, it matters too. They have strengths and weaknesses too. And we have to learn how to work with those. Yes, in some ways, they're a lot like children. But they're so fun. You win in life, and you win financially when you transform your weaknesses into strengths as well. And that starts with honesty and integrity. So for me, for example, like I was talking about how I have a hard time dealing with something that's every day, that's monotonous, 8 to 5, 5 days a week. I cannot psychologically deal with that. You could think of that as a weakness, but that can also become a strength. Yes, because it makes me open other doors for money that I wouldn't otherwise, and I can bring value to the market in other ways. One of the things that another lady I used to know did was she used to get into flea markets. And she brought value to others by making these really cool Japanese hair pieces. So a couple of times a month, she would spend a weekend at a flea market, and she used to bring herself several $1,000s in a month. And she didn't have to go to an 8 to 5 in order to get that. Let that be an encouraging note for those of you who might feel afraid that you're trapped, because you're not. When you're a person like me, though, and you learn how to, and like the person I was mentioning, and you learn how to work with yourself, then your suffering in life, your emotional suffering, mental suffering, stress, really, really, really lessens. So I encourage all of you with this today. Know yourself. Don't deny who you are. The more that you deny yourself, the more you're going to suffer. Work with your personality. Work with your strengths and work with your weaknesses, and enjoy life and bringing play. Yes, you can bring strategy into how you bring your money into your life, and through your strengths and even through your weaknesses. You can use strategy instead of perceived societal obligations. So I just want to encourage all of you in that way today, and appreciate you watching this video so very much. Well, somebody is so playful today. Yes, he is. And I thought it would be great to show you guys some more of his play. Thank you. If you like the content of our videos, don't forget to take those paws and paw that like button. You can paw the subscription bell, the subscription button, and you can paw the notification bell so that you can see all of Neffy Cat's videos. Thank you all so much, and we look forward to seeing you in the next video.